We know from our Chief Data Officer research and surveys that data and analytics leaders that are involved in strategy development are able to deliver far more business value than those that don't. There's an increase in the consistent production of business value by a factor of 2.6 for those data and analytics leaders that are fully involved in setting business direction and are part of that overall business strategy. They're able to demonstrate verifiable business value by a factor of 2.1. And they're able to increase, there's a 1.9 times higher likelihood that a data and analytics team will be perceived as effective when the data and analytics leader is tightly aligned at the hip with the business strategy. But at the same time, we do see in our inquiries that data and analytics leaders struggle. They struggle to optimize business value. And there often is a lack of alignment to mission critical priorities. We know that many of you face scrutiny for every dollar that you spend. And we also know that there's pressure to accelerate ROI as the overall organization is in a business environment where change acceleration, digital acceleration, AI acceleration are top priorities to be able to respond to the increased uncertainty and disruption and opportunities that we see in the business environment as a result of the global pandemic. But we also see that many organizations don't have a systematic approach to prioritizing initiatives. And in many cases, econometric approaches like return on investment or net present value aren't necessarily fully appropriate for technology investments in general or for data and analytics initiatives in particular, because a lot of what we do with data and analytics have to do with productivity improvements or benefits that we can't necessarily quantify financially. And so as a result, we often fail to articulate the business value to other leaders. And importantly, econometric approaches like return on investment or net present value don't give us an explicit way to factor in risk or capabilities gaps into how we prioritize initiatives. Oftentimes in net present value or ROI, the way that we factor in risks is we adjust assumptions or we raise the discount rate. And that just doesn't give us a clear handle on what the risk factors are that we need to address to be successful with the initiatives that we choose. And then the last thing is we don't necessarily think about data and analytics investments or technology investments in general in terms of portfolios, how they in combination impact the business or impact the overall strategic intent of the organization. And so what we've developed at Gartner is a sort of data and analytics value management approach. We know that you need to have that competency in order to be successful. You as data and analytics leaders at whatever level need to function as your organization's chief value officers. You need to build that skill and that competency, not only to articulate benefits, but actually to realize those benefits. And so I'll talk about each of these stages and what needs to be accomplished. What are the components of that value, data and analytics value optimization? The first step is developing the vision and case for change. This is tightly aligned with our strategy and operating model research. And so it really is about developing that vision that no matter what your strategy is, no matter what your plans are, and we know that strategies and plans change, that vision can be consistent. This is a great one I love. We strive for a world where information provides actionable insight to prevent, detect, and predict diseases of all kinds and improve people's lives. That's amazing. Another one of my favorite ones is a cancer center. We make cancer history. And data can play a huge role there. So it really is that vision is essential for getting everybody on that same page, getting behind the initiative. It's value driven. It's mission critical priority driven. It's essential for a storytell, for you to tell that story. It should be aligned to your overall mission of the organization and what stakeholders care about. And it should be very explicitly aligned to your mission critical priority and your business model. And so that's sort of the starting point. The next step is to ideate. What are the portfolio of options in terms of data and analytics investments that can help you to achieve your overall vision and your mission critical priorities? It really does start with, who are the stakeholders? What do they care about? What are they trying to achieve from a business perspective? How are they measured? How will success be measured? What are their goals, both from a business perspective and an individual perspective? What are the mission critical priorities? What are those unmet needs in the organizations? What are the opportunities to innovate that we can enable with data and analytics? How can we find those areas of innovation, either within the lines of business, within the domains? Are there other industries that we can learn from and incorporate those innovations into our own? Can we look at our business moments, our customer engagement, our products, how we deliver value, and figure out how can data and analytics enable, innovate processes, activities, and decisions? And then how will we measure those results? And at Gartner, we have a number of assets that can help you in this stage. Certainly when you have known use cases and sort of known business impact and potential, those might come from requests from your business. But beyond that, as you want to think about innovating with maybe unknown use cases, discovering how people are innovating with data and analytics in different domains and industries, what's possible. We have an art of the possible research for data and analytics. We have a library of use cases that we continue to update on a regular basis that shows here are some really interesting innovations that people have done with data and analytics and the business impact. And we have a set of what we call prisms that identify high value use cases, their business impact, as well as their feasibility by different business domains and industries. Of course, for the unknown use cases that are specific to your organization and sort of the unknown business impact potential, there's design thinking, there's value stream analysis, there's business moment analysis. And that really gets into thinking about ideating with your business partners on how having insight, having more information, automating insights can impact those different processes, activities, and decisions.